Good morning again. This is day 14 of my consistency to persistency. As you are aware, I have been jogging every day, 2.5 miles at about 5:30 without stopping. And today I've made it through another day. And every day as I go around the course, I can feel, I can hear like a second person talking to me, to slow down, to take a rest, to take one or two few steps, and I have to respond to that I am going. And this is what happens throughout the course. Now, and today seems like at some point the hurdles were a little higher, but I overcome them. From the point at which I woke up a little early, and I stayed in bed a little for it to get to about 5:20 before actually getting up. But the longer I stayed in bed, the stronger the voice seemed to be getting, using my very condition to convince me, "Oh, Mambi, it's warm here. Your wife is cozied right next to you. You can do this some other time." I had to force myself to get up. I had to overcome that first obstacle of the mind. And so it is with any goal that you've set out to do that takes you out of your comfort zone. I guess that's why it's called your comfort zone. It is a choice between the uncomfortable and the comfortable, between the unknown and the known. And if you choose the known, then you already know what the outcome will be. It will be the same thing that you've always had. If you choose the unknown, then you don't know what the results will be. The result depends on your performance. And I would urge you that once you set a goal that is supposed to lift you to something higher, to something better, to something richer than where you are, to a stronger faith, to anything, then you must overcome the comfort of your present zone. You've got to grow. You've got to grow. You've got to learn. You've got to practice. You've got to find out what works and what doesn't work. And typically we call that failure, but it isn't. It's just simply of finding out what works and what doesn't work. And along the way you would make adjustments, and whatever adjustment you make would be keeping in mind what the end goal is. So if you have an end goal in mind, it is easier to adjust to get to that result. But without the end goal in mind, where would you adjust to? This is why we say you've got to start with why. You've got to start with what is it you want out of life. You've got to start there, as that is at the beginning point. This is what Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind. You've got to know what you're shooting for. If you go to a target range, you've got to know what the target are. If you are a hunter, you've got to know what animals you're hunting for. If you're traveling to any place, you've got to know what the address is. So you've got to start with the end goal in mind. And then the path to that end goal may change. You may make adjustments along the way based on what you are observing, what you are learning along the way. You make those adjustments to get to where you want to be. And that is what my daily jog teaches me every day. And every day, as I consistently stick to what I had set out to do it throughout, to do no less than 2.5 miles, to run throughout. As I continue, I make the adjustments along the way. When I hear this argument about slowing down, I tell myself, no, that is not the end goal. The end goal is that I would do this continuously without stopping, without walking. And I focus on that and get over that obstacle until the next one pops up. But in every instance along the way, it always starts with the mind. The thought to do something different starts in the mind. And the mind is the one that controls everything, that gets you to do anything. So it starts with the mind. And it is the very mind that you would have to use to understand what's coming, what the obstacles are teaching you, so that you can make adjustment along the way to get to the destination that you want. So this is thrilling. As the days add up, you begin to see, things are moving in the direction that I want them to be. I am getting consistent. I am persisting to get to my destination. And emotionally, I'm getting stronger, because emotionally or rather mentally, I can resist I can put up with the resistance of the mind that is resisting change, the mind that wants things to be the way they are. I guess it's always a fight between the conscious and the subconscious. At some point, when you consistently do certain things, it hands it over to the subconscious, and the subconscious does that without thinking. So when you're sleeping, for instance, the subconscious is the one that keeps all the parts of the body working. It keeps you breathing. It keeps you moving if you have to move, if you are in some uncomfortable position. It takes care of all the functions of the body without you making an active decision. Now, when you tell that subconscious to do something that is outside the comfort zone, then the subconscious is resisting, is saying, that is not what I have been conditioned to do. You've got to do something different. And the conscious mind is looking at what you said you would do. And it's working at that level, whilst the subconscious wants to keep things in a consistent, regular way. And you've got to resist that. You've got to make the effort to make the change that you want. And I know in the heart of everyone that I am aware of, I know that they want to be better. They want to do better. They want their life to be more than what it is. And if you want that kind of a life, if you want a life that is more than what you want it to be, you've got to change. The change starts with you. You've got to change. You've got to make the changes that you want. And nothing significant would be accomplished overnight. So you've got to break down whatever it is you want to be into little bite sizes that you can accomplish every day, daily, and then go about to execute them daily to get to where you want to be. I wish you all the best, and I am hoping that along the way I would have many, many, many of you join me, that you would be inspired that if I can set that and continuously walk towards that, so can you. I encourage you all, because in every one of us there is a certain amount of hope. There is the hope for a better future. In every one of us there's a certain amount of faith that you believe that certain things that you haven't seen will come to pass in the future. You believe that. There's a certain amount of faith. Now, love is what would move you. If you love yourself enough that you believe you deserve what you hope for, you believe that what you hope for is the right thing that you hope for. You can do it. You can do it. And together we can accomplish more.